You need Mora, I need Mora, we all need Mora because that is the one way to progress in the game. There's so much emphasis on things like Primogems and XP and all these materials, but remember the one thing always stopping you is getting Mora. So that's why I have compiled a bunch of the ways that I collect Mora, and don't worry, I'm not gonna say ley lines, but these are all the ways that I farm my Mora, and probably ways that you can copy as well. I'm also going to be rating all the methods for the pros and cons so that you can choose the method that suits you best, and these are just a whole bunch of ideas on ways to get Mora so that you are not going out and farming ley lines and wasting all your time and resin. Some of these methods are super easy and you definitely want to try them out for yourself, whereas some might take a little bit more time, but that's okay because we are here playing as Mona today because we are trying to get every last Primogem that our world has to offer. So without further ado, let's get started on some of the first few ways we can get some Mora. The holiday season is nearing, so to give you all a little something, I've partnered with tokyotreat and Sakuraco to provide you a sweet and tasty Christmas season. Say bye to the usual holiday snacks that you have every year and try out these goodies from Japan. Experience what the Christmas holiday is like in Japan from the comfort of your own home with Sakuraco and tokyotreat snack subscription boxes. Both tokyotreat and Sakuraco are monthly snack subscription boxes containing snacks straight from Japan. tokyotreat is an exclusive snack box with a variety of unique snack items like limited edition Kit Kats, Japanese chips, and even sodas that are only available in Japan for a limited time. Sakuraco is a Japanese artisan snack box that supports local snack makers and comes with 20 traditional and authentic snacks. It even comes with Japanese teas and a special tableware item. Each month's theme is different. For tokyotreat, the theme is Very Merry Snackmas. These are a ton of festive snacks to choose from. Each one captures an aspect of the winter holiday season in Japan. This box in particular makes a wonderful Christmas gift to a loved one, or you can treat yourself to the delightful goodies. Some snacks highlighted are the white chocolate crepe Kit Kats, sour cream and onion waffle chips, premium Ghana chocolate truffles, salted cheese cookies, and even more. I love the mistletoe mochi donut gummies and the choco pie. These are all great to munch on while I'm either playing Genshin or editing videos. There are plenty of flavors whether you like salty snacks, sweet snacks, or spicy snacks. tokyotreat has got you covered with their wide variety. Sakuraco this month has provided a beautiful festive box with absolutely delicious traditional snacks. The theme for December is Holidays in Hokkaido, which highlights the rich and smooth teas and treats from Japan. Some of those snacks are the Hokkaido milk manju, honey apple mochi, Hokkaido milk Danish, Hokkaido strawberry chocolate cookie, and the Mount Fuji sundae. All the snacks pair lovely with the genmaicha tea, which I've poured in this little festive mug. And as always, each month has a tableware item to add a touch of Japan to your own home. And this month, it's the shonsui flower dish. When I first saw the Mount Fuji senbei, I was so eager to try it, and it was definitely worth it because it tasted so good. Also, both the tokyotreat and Sakuraco boxes come with a booklet that tells you what each snack is, but not only that, there are so many pages regarding the history and significance of the snack items to the Japanese culture, like the Sakuraco one, which explains how the treats are made and the snack maker's history. The booklet also provides allergy information so you know what you're eating. Trying everything was absolutely wonderful. I have never had some of these things before, and it was such a great experience to get to try these unique flavors. And also receiving this box was like an early Christmas present, so if you want to experience the joy of opening up a box of surprises, tokyotreat and Sakuraco is the way to go. These boxes make a great gift to yourself or a friend, and you will really enjoy the lovely flavors they have to offer. You can get yours at a discount if you use my code AMBER or click the link in the description to get your festive boxes delivered to you. Thank you Sakuraco and tokyotreat for sponsoring this video! Number 1, you want to check out some hangouts and story quests. Now I know you're going to say they're really boring, and sometimes you're right, but just remember that story quests and hangouts also give primogems too, so you're not completely wasting your time because you are getting other rewards. And also if you like the character then it's sort of a win-win, but if you have just a few hangouts remaining and they're characters you don't like Kaveh or Kaya, then there's really no point in doing it because you probably won't have fun while farming. But also there are story quests to do as well, and you do get primogems for them and you can learn about the 5-star characters. But if you are someone that hasn't finished your story quests, even if you're late game or early game, doing story quests can still be beneficial because some of them are prerequisites to unlock other content, but this is also a good source of Mora. Just remember to consider all these options before doing any additional farming with your resin. You want to save your precious resin for other things, and farming Mora is not something you want to do with that resin. So basically the pros for doing hangouts and story quests would be that you do get some Mora on the side. Like here we go, this is from Sijuin's story quest. This is just one part of the quest, so this is not the total amount of Mora you're getting, this is just from one part of the quest chain. And also another pro would be be that you are completing content that is sometimes required. For example, if you need to do a story quest in order to unlock another quest, it's just part of your normal farming and you're not additionally going out and doing farming. However, for hangouts, they may feel like some additional farming because they're not really necessary to progress in the story, they're just to get to know the character. There is a skip button for the hangouts, but it can be pretty boring to go through the quests over and over. The only downside though is that the story quests do not have a skip button, so you're gonna have to endure all that dialogue. But if you're not a fan of enjoying the story and you really just want to get the rewards, you could always play something in the background while you're doing the story quests. Just note that some story quests will take a little under an hour if you really just spam through dialogue, and if you're not really a fan of the character, it might not be worth it. Another way you can get Mora is also through the battle pass. So since you can customize your battle pass plan, I've gone for the rewards that isn't Mora, mainly just because I have enough Mora and I don't really need to get any additional ones, but you can get Mora from the battle pass, which is a great thing. So as long as you select Mora as one of the rewards, then you will always get that every time you reach the required level. Also, the battle pass is just a natural way you can get rewards, and if you aren't maxing out your battle pass every week, you are missing out on a bunch of rewards. Some of these battle pass things are pretty easy. For things like TCG, this is a really quick bunch of XP. You can easily do domains and cook and do forging. It's just a bunch of little things you have to do, and you do get rewards for them, so there really is no downside. And it's not like you're doing any additional farming because you're just doing the battle pass, which you get naturally for things like logging in and using your resin. If you are a regular player, just make sure that you are checking out your weekly missions in the battle pass so that you are going to check off everything here, and so that you max out your weekly level so you can reach max battle pass. Another thing you might want to consider if you are looking for Mora and want to explore at the same time, look out for Mora boxes and Mora chests. These are those little rock piles that you see, or sometimes floating boxes in the water, or in Natland they're the Ember chests. These ones just give you Mora, and the amounts of Mora differs each time. However, you do know that you are getting guaranteed Mora. The only real big issue is that you might not know where all of them are, but that's why the interactive map exists, so that you can get them. Here's what I mean. There is this thing where you can investigate and you do get Mora, so I'm going to investigate it, and you can see that I got 10,000 Mora from that. Now obviously this is something a little more tricky to do, and it takes a little bit of time because you do have to go out and explore, but the good news is that it does count towards exploration. So if you are trying to complete events like this where you need to explore a region, it does count towards that percentage, so you can knock off some exploration. There are also a ton of these little Mora boxes in the world. If you are using the interactive map, they will show you where a lot of them are. It's super easy to go and collect them. The only problem is that it will be time consuming, especially if you don't have a really good team that's made for exploring. You want to have teams with alternate sprints or other passives that are good for exploring the world. And also, if you're not the type to explore, then it might not be the best option for you. Just note that this is where the majority of my Mora comes from, because I am someone that heavily explores the map to go and get the rewards, and I have been getting a steady supply of Mora from that exactly. Another place you know I'm going to mention is the teapot. Please, please, please don't forget about the teapot. Remember, all you have to do is talk to Tubby, claim your trust rank rewards, get some of these coins, and then go over to your realm depot and just purchase Mora there. If you want to buy the max amount of Mora, all you have to do is spend 2,400 of these realm coins. This method is super quick and easy, and just remember that realm coins count over time, and you don't have to be logged into Genshin to get these realm coins. So honestly, it feels like there's no downside to doing this. Although if you're not at the max trust rank level, it might be harder to get these resources. And also, if you are spending your coins on other things like Hero's Wit and other ores or transient resin, you might not be able to purchase the Mora. But again, just make sure you buy the things that you need for your account. So obviously my account doesn't need artifact EXP, that's why I don't buy it. And that's also why I buy Hero's Wit and enhancement ores rather than Mora and transient resin. The only downside I see to this method exactly is if you don't have the teapot unlocked, and if you haven't done the Leeway quest and the Madam Ping quest, then obviously you wouldn't be able to access the teapot. But other than that, if you just have your teapot sitting in your backpack and you've done nothing to it, go to it right now and just claim your rewards. They're sitting there, they're waiting for you, and they reset weekly, so you can always get a consistent supply of Mora. Another method that you want to consider is doing bounties and requests. Especially if you haven't completed the reputation for an area, you want to go talk to the reputation officer and then see if there are any bounties or requests you can do. For the bounties, these are the rewards. You can get up to 30,000 Mora for the highest level bounty, and they're honestly not that hard, so they're very, very doable. As for the requests, you can also get 20,000 Mora per request, and it's really accessible, really easy. If you can't fight the bounties, you can always just do the requests. Just remember, you can only do 3 per week, week. It's not 3 per nation, it's just 3 per week in general, so make sure you do the ones of the nation that you haven't finished max reputation for. And now that Natlan has more tribes that you need to max reputation for, it's a great way to use your time because you can go max out those reputation ranks as well as farm for your bounties and requests. The cons for this would be that it does take some time, and also if you have maxed out the location's reputation level, you would not be able to do more of the bounties and requests. But just note, if you haven't maxed out a nation's reputation levels, you can still do the bounties and requests and get the Mora rewards accordingly. Another super simple method for getting a bunch of Mora is just through Genshin reward codes. Now I do know there are limited reward codes and it's not always very consistent and it's not a really good farming method, it's mainly just a rewards method, but if you do want to join our Discord server, here it is. Basically we do post some reward codes, and we also do just discuss Genshin in the server as well, and post a bunch of other stuff. You can also get updated for my new videos, or find someone to play with if that's what you want. But obviously I do know that reward codes are not consistent and they just depend on whether or not they are available, so please take this piece of advice with a grain of salt. If you are leveling up characters and realize that you need some materials from a certain enemy, you don't have to actually feel like you're wasting your time because some enemies do drop Mora as their rewards. If you go over to the elite enemies page, you can see that all these elite enemies drop Mora, and there is a Genshin wiki page that shows how much Mora each enemy drops, and obviously depending on the level they will drop a certain amount of Mora too. So if you did want to farm some enemies but felt like you were wasting your time, it still does give a little bit of Mora, but it's not enough to really get you anywhere. Like as you can see, it dropped Mora 40, 49, they're not really the biggest numbers, but again, if you do elite enemies, they can drop up to 400 Mora. You can see how these law churls drop up to 600 Mora, and then some of the mages and lectors can drop up to 200. It just depends on the enemy that you are fighting. I will link this in the description if you want to check this out for yourself to see which enemies you want to fight. If you do decide to go with this method, you are getting enemy drops at the same time, so you're not really wasting your farming time, but it isn't a very good source of Mora, mainly just because it isn't a lot every time an enemy drops some. And if you are looking to level up talents like this one where it does require a lot of Mora, fighting enemies is not really the best option for you because it'll take such a long time to farm up some Mora. Here we are in Liyue, where I want to show you the next tip. I feel like some people forget about this, but that's completely okay because I forget about it too. If you are exploring, you will notice that in your backpack you do have sigils. These are the sigils that I mean, and each region has a place where you can go turn them in to get rewards. For Liyue, it is this shop over here where you can just go in and trade the sigils in for Mora directly. As you can see, I can just go in and trade for all this Mora. This doesn't have a maximum amount, so you can just keep coming in and trading, and as long as you are collecting sigils, then you are getting Mora in return. This is just a bonus to your exploration because you do get Mora from chests, but if you want to turn in those sigils, you can go to the respective seller in each nation and then trade in those sigils. For places like Sumeru, remember that there is the Tree of Dreams that you can go submit sigils. I'm going to offer these sigils now and get the rewards from that. As you can see, each level does have Mora as one of their rewards, as well as other things like enhancement ores and wishes, keys, talent books, and everything. So do not underestimate the power of those little sigils hiding in your inventory. Again, each nation has a place where you can go and submit these and get rewards in return. If you are struggling to find sigils, the best way you can do this is go to the interactive map and then search for areas with shrines or luxurious chests. This way you will get the most amount of sigils because the greater the chest, the more sigils you will get in return. So basically, just look for big chest, open big chest, and submit sigil. Speaking of chests, I know that some of you might know where some of these secret little chests are hidden all around the map. But these chests usually consist of a ton of Mora inside them. Like there is one luxurious chest in Fontaine that is behind one of the buildings. I've already unlocked it though, but it does give a heaping amount of Mora, as well as the bank in Liyue. If you just go to the bank second floor, you'll be able to get a giant chest there full of Mora. If you are active in the Genshin community, they will have already discussed where all these little chests are, and they do give loads of Mora so that you will be able to not be broke, and they can also act as a little emergency fund in case you need it. The cons for this though would be you have to go and find them, and also there isn't really a grand master list where all these chests are located, so it's kind of just word of mouth or interactive map or all of those places where you would go look for chests. And also remember that these chests are one-time places, so it's not really a consistent farming method, and once you've claimed the chest you can't really claim it again, so just be mindful of when you do use the Mora from those chests because there really is no fund other than that. Lastly, in this video, some honorable mentions would be the Spiral Abyss. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Each floor and chamber gives you some rewards, and they do get better as the floors progress. And if you do have a solid team and you can clear content, then it shouldn't be that hard to clear some of the floors of the Spiral Abyss. Obviously floor 12 is going to be hard, but if you do have solid teams, floor 9, 10, and 11 should be a breeze. And the Spiral Abyss does reset, so you can always claim those rewards after the reset. And then similarly, we have Imaginarium Theater. If you are the type of person that just doesn't want to do Imaginarium Theater, I would still recommend giving it a try, even though you're not really fully built or good at it. It's really hard to be good at Imaginarium Theater, especially when things are randomized. But you do get rewards like Prima Gems too, and also there is Mora for each of the acts that you do complete of the Imaginarium Theater. Also remember that Imaginarium Theater does reset, just like Spiral Abyss does, so you can always get the rewards when you come back after the reset. So those were some of my ways that I get my Mora from, but if you really ask me where I get all this Mora from, I'm gonna tell you exploration, because that is the honest truth. I love exploring the map of Genshin. It's such a great place to get your resources from, and also you can explore and enjoy all the scenery. I love it so much. The last thing you want to do though is do Mora ley lines, but that's if you're very, very desperate. Just remember that there are all these other methods that I mentioned that exist, and also just remember to take your time when leveling up your characters. You don't need to max them out on the day of their release. For me, I take lots of time to level up my characters so I know that I have all the resources for it. Genshin is not a sprint. There is really no finish line. It just depends on what you want for your account, and obviously you don't need to go spending any money to get your Mora. There is no need whatsoever to spend any real world currency on a game that's free to play. But anyways, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you have any questions or things you want to add, let me know in the comments. Also, if this video was helpful, do let me know. The links that I mentioned in this video are in the description, so if you want to go check them out, you can. Other than that, good luck on your pulls everyone, and I will see you all in our next video. Bye!